Well, I suppose it makes sense that if you're going to call comedians foreign agents, then you might as well call journalists and publishers criminals. As you know, Julian Assange has been arrested and is now locked away in British custody. The U.S. government wants to extradite him for the crime of revealing our crimes. So the crime of showing people our crimes. Yeah. And you have to admit, that is a pretty dick thing for Julian to do. Come on, man. Just let us kill a few 100,000 innocent people without you all blabbing about it. Let us torture some folks. Don't be a narc, man. Just be cool, Jules. So with Assange on the verge of being shipped here to be tortured, now is a good time to go through all of the incredibly important revelations from WikiLeaks. Let's start with the most famous one, the collateral murder video, showing us U.S. aircrew gunning down Iraqi civilians. They murdered between 12 and 18 innocent people, and you can hear on the video, they were having a ball doing it. They were fucking loving it. And two of the people they murdered were Reuters journalists. So you would think maybe Reuters, of all the media outlets, maybe Reuters would pry their head from their ass cheeks and fight for Assange's freedom. But no, their head is firmly planted in there, all right? It's like a vice grip. It's like Joe Biden's hand on a young girl's shoulder, all right? It is on there. 0 people have been arrested for the collateral murders, yet Julian Assange has been arrested for revealing them. Moving on, WikiLeaks brought us the Guantanamo Bay procedures, showing that many of the prisoners were completely innocent and that some were hidden from Red Cross officials. Because, you know, when you're torturing innocent people, you kind of want to do it in peace and quiet, away from the prying eyes. It's very easy to get distracted, and then you lose your place, and then you got to start all over, okay? None of the soldiers torturing innocent people at Gitmo have been arrested for it. Yet Julian Assange has for revealing it. WikiLeaks also came out with the secret Bibles of Scientology, which showed that aliens run the world, or aliens are inside of us, or aliens give us indigestion or something. I can't remember. Anyway, but no one has ever been arrested for perpetrating that nutbag cult, yet Julian Assange has for revealing it. Next up, Tibetan dissent in China. WikiLeaks posted videos of dissidents fighting back, which were not allowed to be viewed in China. And in case you forgot, WikiLeaks does not only open up the truth about the US, it has brought transparency around the world. They revealed the Peru oil scandal and that Russia was spying on their citizens' cell phones, and the Minton report on toxic dumping in Africa, and the Syrian file showing the inner workings of the Syrian government. And WikiLeaks showed us a secret Australian Supreme Court gag order that stopped the Australian press from reporting on a huge bribery scandal that involved the central bank and international leaders. This might be why Assange is hated by governments around the world. You know, as much as they may like some transparency from other countries, they don't want their own particular pile of shit on full display. You know, it's kind of like when we laugh heartily after a celebrity has like an upskirt photo published in the tabloids. But at the same time, none of us want upskirt photos of us all over the web. I know I don't, because I'm a lady. No, sir. As far as I know, none of the political figures involved in all those scandals have gone to prison for them, yet Julian Assange has for revealing them. There was also the Iraq war logs, hundreds of thousands of documents relating to America's illegal invasion of Iraq, which we called a war, but I think a war has to have 2 sides, right? There have to be 2 sides. In this case, there was really just the one. You know, Iraq's elite Republican Guard turned out to be 3 guys and a fucking donkey, okay? And the donkey didn't even have good aim. So, as far as I can tell, no one committing the war crimes evidenced in the Iraq war logs has been locked up for them. Yet Julian Assange has for revealing them. WikiLeaks showed us the highly secretive Bilderberg Group meeting reports. The Bilderberg Group is made up of incredibly powerful men and women getting together and deciding how to rule over all of us unwashed masses while sitting on thrones made from the bones of the babies of the non-believers. And The Bilderberg Group are often accused of being lizard people, but really they're just regular old sociopaths with like lizard skin that they purchased from a plastic surgeon in Malibu for like $500,000. So it's a lot less sci-fi and a lot more, gross. I don't think anyone from the Bilderberg Group is being tortured in solitary confinement right now, yet Julian Assange is for revealing who they are. The Barclays Bank tax avoidance scheme that netted Barclays £1 billion a year. While they were ordered to pay $500 million in lost taxes, no one was arrested for that theft from citizens. Yet Julian Assange was for revealing it. The Afghan War Diaries, which consisted of 92,000 documents related to our destruction of Afghanistan. It detailed friendly fire incidents and civilian casualties. It showed that when reporting their own activities, U.S. units are inclined to classify civilian kills as insurgent kills, downplay the number of people killed, or otherwise make excuses for themselves. This guy we just killed was an insurgent. How do you know? Because we killed him. Well, why did we kill him? Because he's an insurgent. How do you know? Because we killed him. This is the war that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Some people started waging it not knowing what it was, and they'll keep right on waging it forever just because this is the war that never ends. It goes on, everybody now, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started waging it not knowing what it was. All right, that's good enough, that's good enough. I am unaware of anyone, you nailed it though, you nailed it. I'm unaware of anyone locked away for these war crimes, yet Julian Assange is for revealing them. WikiLeaks also unveiled hundreds of thousands of U.S. State Department cables that showed more clearly than ever how our secretive government rules their empire with little to no input from the American people. The cables revealed Secretary of State Hillary Clinton ordering diplomats to spy on French, British, Russian, and Chinese delegations at the UN Security Council. It also showed Arab nations urging the U.S. to strike Iran and much more. Our ruling elite, of course, view this as a massive breach of national security. That's understandable. But that worldview only comes into play if you think the elites are the only ones who should know how our nation is run. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at it. Look at it. Take it in. Take it in. Look at it. Now tell me you want the ruling elite to be the only ones to know what the fuck is going on. Look at it. The concept of our government was that those foie gras, beer bong, and assholes would be accountable to us, to you and to me, to the workers and the number crunchers, to the single moms and the fluffers at the porn sets. We're supposed to vote based on our knowledge of how our government is functioning. But if all our representatives are secretly, performing bestiality in a basement somewhere, and that fact is considered top secret for national security purposes, we aren't really an informed populace now, are we? Right? So for all that was unveiled in the State Department cables, no one has been locked up, but Julian Assange has for revealing it. The Stratfor emails, this was millions of emails that showed how a private intelligence agency was used by its U.S. corporate and government clients to target activists and protesters. No one in Stratfor is locked away, but Julian Assange is for revealing it. Then there's the trade deals, TPP, TISA, TTIP. All three amount to one of the largest attempts at corporate takeover ever conceived. All three were more secretive than the ending of Game of fucking Thrones, all right? They were decided in private by government leaders and corporate lawyers and lobbyists. The only organization to show us some of these documents before they were made into law was WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks made us aware of the corporate restraints that were about to be placed on us. And that's what allowed activists to pressure Trump to pull out of the TPP. None of those corporate goons are imprisoned for their attempted power grab, but Julian Assange is for revealing it. Then there's the DNC emails and the Podesta emails. I'll explain for those of you who have been living in a cave that itself is inside a yellow and blue makes green sealed Tupperware container. The DNC emails showed us just how rigged the Democratic primaries really are. They proved media, financial, and organizational rigging in favor of the Hillary campaign. They even showed that Obama's entire first-term cabinet was selected by Citibank. Citibank! I'd rather have his cabinet decided by the pus oozing out of Darth Vader's face or Vince McMahon or some shit. Whatever election integrity movement there is right now owes a lot to those revelations by WikiLeaks. After being brought to court over this, by the way, the DNC's lawyers admitted the DNC has no obligation to have fair primary elections. It's their right to rig them. But don't try to get angry over this, because if you do, the CIA has ways to fuck up your life. In 2017, WikiLeaks posted a trove of CIA documents called Vault 7. It detailed their capabilities, including remotely taking over cars, smart TVs, web browsers, and smartphones. And after I read that, I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going full Amish, 100% full Amish. Let's see the CIA hack my butter churn, all right? Good luck. Are they gonna use backdoor software to get inside my rustic wooden bow saw? And even if they could, are they going to listen to my conversation about how me bobbling Frau read up for Ruchen round? Ah, Schmanzlov wunderbar. So is anybody at the CIA chained up for violating our privacy in every way they can come up with? No, but Julian Assange is for revealing it. WikiLeaks has helped create movements around the world, like the Arab Spring and Occupy. And don't forget, at first, WikiLeaks and Assange were celebrated for it by the mainstream outlets. In 2011, Amnesty International hailed WikiLeaks as one of the Arab Spring catalysts. The Guardian wrote, "The year 2010 may well be remembered as a watershed year when activists and journalists used new technology to speak truth to power, and in so doing pushed for greater respect for human rights. It is also the year when repressive governments faced the real possibility that their days were numbered." So why did so many outlets and people turn against Assange and WikiLeaks? Because it turned out he wasn't only revealing repressive Arab regimes. He was also revealing US-backed coups and war crimes around the world. He exposed the criminality and villainy of the American ruling elite. Assange has been nominated for multiple Nobel Peace Prizes, and nearly every respected media outlet around the globe has done some reporting at some point based on source material from WikiLeaks. Yet after all this, and after 7 years in captivity, the man who laid bare these criminals and showed each one of us our chains, he and others who helped him reveal the truth are the only ones endlessly punished. But I'm right. That's true. It's true. But I am not here to tell you to stand up for freedom of speech and freedom of information. No, take a load off. Stay there. You should not do that. And whatever you do, don't print out flyers like this and post them around town. Do not do that. Let journalism die in peace and quiet. All right? And do not go to twitter.com/Lee Camp, where you'll find a link for this flyer and then print out thousands or perhaps millions and then post them around town. You can post them on people's faces. It doesn't matter. All over the internet. Do not do that. And definitely don't print out a giant poster like this and put it around here. Do not. I repeat, do not. That would be a terrible thing to do. Instead, let journalism rest in peace. Coming to you from Washington, D.C.